Okay, we are live.
Hello.
So,
Hello out there.
Hello.
all right. So we are live now, finally. And let me refresh the screen on Facebook. Welcome, everybody, if you're just popping in. This is the SAI team here. And we are live. So if you are on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, we're there right now. So if you're watching us, hello, you're more than welcome to jump in, leave some comments, talk to us, ask us some questions, leave whatever comments you'd like that are obviously appropriate and nice. So we are going to wait a minute. Let's just give it a minute for people to pop in here.
Good morning, everybody.
Yeah. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon.
Wherever you may be.
Right?
Yeah.
We have people from all over the world jumping
Love
in
that.
sometimes. We have people from Europe, people from Asia, the Americas. So right now we are just going to go into it. And if people come in, we'll pause to kind of give them the update on what we're doing here.
Okay.
So as you can see, you have the SAI team here. I am Damien from Surrogate Alternatives. I have been here for, I think, 11 years, something like that, with Surrogate Alternatives. And I am the social media marketing director here at Surrogate Alternatives. With me, we have Jen. Can you introduce yourself?
Yep, I'm Jennifer. I'm the lead surrogate intake coordinator at SAI. I've been here for 2 years, and I help with all the intake process of all of our incoming surrogates.
Awesome. And then below, I think it's below, we have Rebecca.
Hello. So I'm Rebecca. I am the lead client services director here at SAI. I have been here almost 10 years in a few weeks. I was a surrogate with SAI as well, if you don't know that. So yeah, I help with basically matching intended parents and surrogates together.
And then I'm Benice. Sorry. Sorry, David. I'm Benice. I'm lead case manager here at SAI. I've been here for 7 years. And I am a 3-time surrogate with Surrogate Alternatives as well.
Awesome. It is crazy to hear how many years you've all been here, because even though Jennifer says 2, I feel like she's been here for quite some time, because we somehow talk on the daily as well, all of us. And I did see a video of you, Rebecca, the other day, and we were like, oh my God, it's baby Rebecca.
Oh my gosh, right? It was like before I was even a surrogate. It was like the last retreat I was at as a surrogate before I started working here. And I was like, oh my God, like that doesn't even, it's not even the same person.
Right.
But yeah, we were actually talking about Jen this morning because we were talking about like everybody's anniversaries. And I was like, wait, how long has Jennifer been here? Because it feels like longer, but I know it's not. And Luke was like, it's just been, just lost my earbud. It's just been 2 years. So I'm like, oh my gosh, why does it feel like it's so long? You know, when you work with people every single day, it feels longer. So
it does.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember Venice coming into the office, I believe, she came in as a surrogate, obviously, and she was bringing some food to help out during a hurricane. So I remember that. So that was cool.
Yeah, I remember meeting Venice as well.
Yeah, so it's awesome to see.
In the old office, I walked you out,
right?
And I was like,
I never knew. I never knew I'd be working here. Hook, line, and sync. I love it.
Yeah, the good old days and the new good old days.
That's right.
The better days.
That's right. Even
So I want you to for those that are watching, let us know your surrogacy. I don't want to say numbers, but you know your surrogacy qualifications as a surrogate, your journeys, I should say. So let's start with Jennifer.
I've been a surrogate 4 different times.
I have been a surrogate twice, once a set of twins and once a singleton.
And Venice.
And I've been a surrogate 3 times, twins, singleton, and triplets.
She just marked them all off.
Not on purpose.
So she was like, I'm going to try them all.
I'm just, trying to be an overachiever over here.
Yeah, she wants that badge, guys.
Yeah.
Just real quick, Sandra Keaty said good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, so you did
Thanks for
check off those
joining
boxes. Which is cool. So if you're joining us now, just kind of want to let you know what we're doing here. Basically, just kind of an introduction to the team. This isn't the entire team, but this is the team that some of you will experience meeting. If you decide to become a surrogate, obviously, if you are a surrogate, you know these ladies, these wonderful ladies. But if you're trying to become a surrogate and you're thinking about becoming a surrogate, we want to kind of talk to you about the pathway to surrogacy and what you can expect from the different departments that you'll be dealing with, hopefully in the future. So I wanted to kind of kick it off to Jennifer, because that's who you would meet right away upon putting an application in, and it would definitely go to Jennifer first, and then she would reach out. So Jennifer, talk to us, let us know what happens as soon as they reach out to you. And real quick, Heather Burkett says good morning. So Heather is watching as well.
Hi, Heather.
So so let us know from your perspective how everything goes.
Yeah, so basically, as soon as I get your contact information, I'll reach out to you. We'll do a quick intake call. We'll go over the pre-qualifications, make sure you do qualify to be a surrogate. And then from there, during that same call, we'll go over the surrogate benefits package so you know what to expect from the very beginning. If any changes need to be made, we'll make those changes at that time. I will then email you our initial documents. With those documents, it'll help create your profile, get some contact information, things like that. We'll go over some consent forms, and then you'll sign your surrogate benefits package. Once all your documents are completed, we will jump on a Zoom meeting together. It gives us an opportunity to meet as face-to-face as possible. We'll go over the matching process, what that looks like, answer any questions at that point. So it really is it's a quick process, but it depends on how quickly you personally do the documents. I myself move pretty quickly, so we can get you going and get you matched on to the next phase. And so once I do release your profile, I release it to Rebecca and her team over at Client Services, and then you go from there.
Awesome. There you go. Jeez, you sound so professional.
Right? I was like, she's done this spiel before.
Right?
One or two times.
So, not that you're not, but it sounds so great. I love it. That was awesome. So
rolls right off the tongue.
Right. So
Right.
once it goes from Jennifer, goes on to, you said Rebecca?
Rebecca.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Client Services.
Yep.
Okay. So give us a rundown on what you do.
Yeah. So just to kind of start off, what I do is I talk to all new intended parents that are coming in, myself, Luke, and Snow. So basically we have an introduction with the intended parents. We kind of find out what their journey looks like and what type of surrogate they're looking for. As you can tell in your profile, the criteria is very vast. So we break down the criteria based off of a bunch of different things. The intended parents are also going to choose based off of those, including their IVF clinic, which I like to point out because that is a huge deciding factor for most intended parents. So they will have what their criteria is, and then they'll also have what their clinic's requirements are as well in regards to choosing the specific surrogate that they would like. So what we'll do is we'll share your profile with the intended parents. They'll come back and say yes or no. And we'll keep doing that until we get a yes on our end. So let's just say the intended parents say, yes, I love Jennifer so much. I will go ahead and share the profile of the intended parents with Jennifer so that she can look at it and decide if she'd like to move forward. So the initial contact will come from somebody on the client services team. So that way you can, get introduced to us. We're going to be asking you questions, sharing profiles. Sometimes the clinics come back and have questions, or the intended parents. So you'll get a chance to review the intended parent's profile right off the bat. We're never going to blindly match you with somebody. This is your journey just as much as it is theirs. So we want to make sure that you also feel comfortable moving forward with that intended parent. So they fill out a profile very similar to yours, where it's going to give you just some basic information about their life. In their regard, it's going to say, why they can't have a baby, or maybe what their IVF path has looked like up until now. And then it'll also say why they're doing surrogacy, and also a little bit about them with a few pictures. So it's kind of a paper version of themselves, just like your profile is a paper version of you. So that way you can kind of get a good feel on what they would be like in person. And then basically from there, what we will do is we will kind of talk to the intended parent, say, yes, Jennifer would like to move forward. And then from there, just depending on if their clinic wants to review your medical records, we will do that. And then we'll also set up a Zoom call that you will be able to all meet together. And one of our staff members will be on that call just to make sure if you have any questions or concerns that we can help address those as a group. And then from there, let's just say you match, everything is great. Then from there, we will send out a full matched email, which will kind of tell you how the process is going to move forward from here. And then once you are officially matched, you will have a case manager that will be associated with your case, which Venice will chat about. And one thing I do want to point out too, so when you sign up as a surrogate, we do have an unmatched support group, which is really helpful. It's nice because all the surrogates that are on that support group are not matched yet. So all of the questions or concerns or anything that you have are probably what everybody's feeling. And it's nice just for us all to kind of get together. Someone from the client services department will be on there, as well as Jennifer and other surrogates. So if you are signing up to be a surrogate with us, definitely plan on attending that support group so that you can kind of get a feel for us. If you have any questions for me directly, you'll get my contact information or Luke or Snow's contact information, but we're all here to help. And if there's something specific you want, or just maybe specific questions you have, then please get on there and ask. Mm-hmm. We're all here to support you. Obviously, Jennifer is going to be your first point of contact when you sign up, and then it's going to be myself and then your case manager. And a lot of the information will be repetitive and will be told to you just so you understand, because if you're a first-time surrogate and you're going through this, there's a lot of information that's given to you, and we want to make sure that you're moving forward and not like confused or surprised or something like that. So we want to make sure that everything moves smoothly for you. So no question is ever a dumb question, and too many questions isn't a thing. Like, we want to make sure that you are prepared.
Awesome. So I love the information that you guys are giving. Number one, you are all experienced, not only at SAI, but you have all gone through the process. So that's important to point out multiple times, not just once, but multiple times. So this is something that I think you guys do in your sleep. You guys can totally just
I've actually have gone through a whole journey in my sleep. So.
Well, and I think too, we can put ourselves back into being a first-time surrogate where it's like, oh my gosh, like I was so oblivious. Like it's like, oh, I did research and I read online and I'm like, oh, I knew everything. And then, you go to support group and you're like, wow, I don't really know a lot, but it's helpful to have a supportive team on your side and know that not only are we the agency that's going to be representing you, which you have to feel comfortable with, but we've also been on our own journeys. So if you ever want to know, like, well, did you ever go through this? Or is this something you experienced before? Like, I promise you, out of the 9 people that have been surrogates on our team, like somebody has probably been through something similar to what you're going through. And so not only are we here to support you just as a surrogate with our agency, but we're also here to support you as a person and as a surrogate and make sure that, you're never just kind of left alone in a situation that you're dealing with.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. Venice, your turn.
My turn. Okay.
So, last but not least.
I know. So after you've gone through intake and got matched, we receive congratulations on your matched email. And the case management department takes your case. We introduce ourselves via email. And we do try to set up a Zoom call now so that we can meet you face-to-face. We like to introduce ourselves, explain what it looks like at this time when you are matched. There's a lot of hurry up and wait. Just know that there's a lot of things happening in the background that you may not necessarily know is happening, but it is. So might be record reviews. Sometimes that can take anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks. We might need extra things from you, but just know that we are going to stay in contact with you. And if you have any questions for us throughout the process, so we're going to go through medical screening, psych screening, and then ultimately into legal and contracts. So you're going to be waiting a lot, right? Would you say it's a lot of waiting?
Mm-hmm. I feel like, well, because once you get to the matching stage, obviously things move a little bit faster than when you were matching, just depending on like what your journey is, which we'll kind of touch on after this. But I think it just depends. Like, it's like you're waiting for an appointment or you're waiting for this, or, it's like those things kind of feel a little slow because you're so anxious and excited to do this. I do feel like there's
a lot of waiting.
Yeah.
So please feel free. Like, we're always like, do you have any questions? Do you need anything? Know that we're still waiting on the clinic, or we're still waiting on this, but we are definitely moving you along as quickly as we can. We don't ever want anybody to wait or to stay stagnant for too long. And then we always encourage, communication with us, communication with IPs, joining any of these groups. The matched but not legally cleared group is a really good one, because I think a lot of the surrogates have a lot of the similar questions, which is very helpful. I think these meetings that we do have do help them understand the process and, ask any unanswered questions that they may not feel comfortable to ask the case manager. There are 4, 5 case managers, and we're all different in so many ways, that there's a lot of us and there's a lot of experience in this office. Like Rebecca was saying, that we all do remember what it feels like to be a first-time surrogate, and just like not knowing the whole process. And sometimes even me as a case manager, I have to remember like, oh, it's their first time. They have no idea what to expect. So that's my job, to make you feel comfortable in your journey and know that we're a partnership, and getting you through into legal and then into your journey. That's our ultimate goal. So we do help along with finances, contracts, and medical, going to your medical screening, may be out of state or local. We do help with all of that. So anything in regards to that, that's what your case manager is there for. And then once you are in contracts and legally cleared, we send you with a support team. So you have your own case manager. And then once you are in contracts, you have your own support coordinator, which is a whole nother level of support. I feel it's very important. They check in with you, reach out to you weekly, or every 2 weeks, just to check in and see how you're doing. See if you have any questions for us. See what's going on. See, how you're feeling with medications. It's very important to stay connected with our surrogates. And I think our support coordinators are very important in that process, guiding you through transfer and into pregnancy and delivery. Super important. I do love our support team.
Yeah. It's just an added thing to, the case manager, just to be able to have like that extra support. And one thing I wanted to just kind of chime in on the case management piece is just so you are aware, if you are coming in as a first-time surrogate, that like everybody has their timeline, right? So like you're going to have your timeline, intended parents are going to have their timeline. As an agency, we know what the timeline typically looks like. So we're, like Venice mentioned, we're moving you through as like quickly as we possibly can, because there's no reason for us to hold it up. But just be mindful of that the intended parents also have a timeline as well as yourself. So we always want to make sure that these things are done in a timely fashion. So if there's ever, something that comes up, or you're planning a trip, or anything basically in your personal life that might interfere or just kind of like add a extra level of, hey, I'm going to be out of the office or out of town, just let Jennifer know when you're signing up, and we'll make a note of that in your file, just so that once we get to that point, we're kind of like, hey, just so you remember, Jennifer has a
cruise coming up.
Yeah, a cruise with her family, and she's going to be out of town. Because obviously, like, certain things can be worked around, but it's just basically the timeline piece of it. So it's the same thing for the intended parents. They need to be very mindful that you also have a timeline. So we're not going to delay things, just to delay. So we kind of are working with a bunch of different, entities in regards to like the intended parents and you and your clinic. And so we just like to mention that, like, obviously there is a timeline that revolves around surrogacy. Sometimes that timeline is a little delayed. Sometimes it's not, but we just want to make sure that everybody is aware of that.
Awesome. I think that was huge. That was an important thing to say, is that, there's definitely a lot of variables involved, and there's a lot of entities involved. in this process. So definitely patience is one thing that you need to bring with you when you go through this process. And yes, you
Hurry
all
up
know.
and wait. Hurry up and wait. I'm trying. I promise.
It's just not something I think as humans that we ever like learned ever. And we try to think that we're like, oh, I'm so patient. And I'm like, but are we?
I'm not.
We're kind of not. I think it depends on your situation. And, you know, in this situation that we're in, like everybody is very excited, especially, you know, think about the intended parents. Like a lot of them have taken years and years and years to try to have a baby. And they get to this point of like, oh my gosh, I'm finally made the decision to go through surrogacy. And now I'm finally at the point where I'm, you know, going to have a transfer with my surrogate and I'm going to have a baby. And, you know, that is a whole like different level of patience. And so for us, it's like, okay, we're trying to move things, you know, through as quickly as we can. But the timeline is hard because you really wanted to like hurry up and make it happen right now. It's like, if we could get you pregnant tomorrow, that would be great. Right. But, you know, this process does have certain steps that need to be completed before we can get there.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. And real quick, I wanted to mention about support. That's something that we've done at SAI for since I can remember, since the beginning. So support is huge. You're not left alone. You're not left, you know, without communication. You have a support team. You have other team members here that are always, you know, at your call whenever you need them. Support line, everything. So I just wanted to go before we end it all. Kendra has a good point. She says, patience is so hard sometimes. Not going to lie. I struggled a bit in the beginning.
Yeah,
I know. Hey, Kendra.
Hi, Kendra.
I know. It is. Yeah, Kendra definitely knows a little bit about patience. You're doing great.
And as a first-time surrogate, I'm just going to point out like a little bit of a timeline for you, so you just kind of know what to expect. So you're going to get set up with Jen, like Jen mentioned, like she can get you signed up like as soon as possible, just depending on like how quickly you can get back the documents. Same for the client services. We're going to start sharing your profile right away. But the time frame could vary. You might have a friend who got matched in a week, and maybe it's been a few months and you haven't got matched yet. So it really just depends on the intended parents that we have and what your situation looks like as a person in your delivery history. And then, you know, what intended parents are looking for in their criteria, and also the IVF clinic. So I would say typically, you know, we can match a surrogate within, you know, 4 to 6 months. Sometimes it happens really quickly. It's just like this kind of perfect storm of, we had this intended parent and you fit perfectly for them. And sometimes it takes a little bit longer. So just know that on our end, we are continuously sharing your profile. If there's any feedback that we get in regards to why somebody didn't choose you, we'll share that with you. But sometimes we don't always get that. But it's hard to compare yourself to, you know, hard not to compare yourself to other people who've gotten matched quickly. So just keep that in mind. And, you know, we can just be honest with you and let you know kind of like what we're hearing. But don't ever hesitate to not like reach out. We're all kind of here for you. We're all different. We all have different personalities. So if you're like, hey, I really am like, you know, connected to Jen and I'd like to chat with her, great. Send Jen a text message. Like, I have no problem working with Jen. I love her. I work with her every day. So like, you know, if that's something that you need, please take advantage of whatever relationship you have within SAI and use that.
Absolutely.
Right. And Kendra also said, don't get me started on the legal process.
Yeah. Like I said, Kendra, you are amazing. Yes, no, she definitely does know a little bit about patience. And Kendra was just one of these stories that we do talk about. You know, it's not, you know, as cut dry as, you know, we may think, especially coming in as a first time, not knowing that what the IVF process looks like or what the medical process looks like, and becoming like an IVF patient, essentially, because most of us haven't been through IVF for our own children. Right. So it's a whole new world when you bring an IVF clinic into the mix.
Yeah. And, you know, like what you said, and what Kendra's referencing, you have different entities out there that work, you know, with us, and we work with them. So while we may be lightning quick, you know, other people might be a little slower, and they have, you know, some volume as well. And so things take a little bit more time. But I wanted to go into real quick before we end it is a tip. Each of you give me a tip for a first-time surrogate. I have I mean, I don't deal with first time, but I hear it all day long. I would say communication and patience is important in this process. Communicating and patience, I think, would be the top two for me. For anybody, any surrogate and intended parent coming in, would be patient communication. What about you, Jennifer?
Absolutely what you said, but also like just ask your questions. Like even if you think it's silly or you're not too sure, like just line up or write all your questions down and ask every single one of them, because it leads into different things and you'll have a better understanding. And so it will make the process a little bit easier. So you're not walking into it so blindly.
Yeah, like ask as many questions as you want, because I would much rather answer 20 questions from a person who is like coming into this that doesn't understand, then you ask no questions and get to a point and be like, oh, well, I didn't really understand the process and blah, blah, blah. It's like, I would just be open. Again, like we've all been in your shoes and we've all been in this journey before. And even though we do work on this agency side and we hear it a lot, like it's never an issue for us to, reiterate to somebody if they're confused. For me, so you guys took Damien picked 2, so that's really
that wasn't fair.
But
I said 1 and then I said 2.
And then Jennifer took 9, but that's okay. I'm gonna stand behind what I said before, and that is don't compare yourself to other journeys. Because again, as we know, like depending on where you are, if you're outside of kind of the California area, you may not know somebody that's been a surrogate before. So you may have seen it in like maybe surrogacy groups or something like that. If you're in California, you may have gotten like referred by a surrogate, and I feel like surrogacy is very common here. So you might be like, well, my cousin had a journey and she got matched in a week and she had a transfer in 4 months. And like, sometimes that happens, or everything just moves along so quickly. And it's, again, like, it's just how her process went, or maybe the clinic or the IPs, whatever it is, that whole group just happened to be very seamless. But like, things come up, like, and that's just part of this, there's a medical piece, there's a psychological piece, there are attorney pieces, and then you add in personal lives of yours and your intended parents. So just know that there is a lot going on, but just don't ever compare yourself to somebody else. Like, your journey is your journey.
Yeah.
None of us at the agency have had a similar journey.
No.
So just know that out of the 9-10 people that have gone through a surrogacy journey here, none of us have had a similar one. So just take that with a grain of salt. Just enjoy the process, and obviously the patience thing, and just enjoy it, and just know that like whatever is meant to happen is meant to happen, and you will get to the finish line. It just might take you a little bit longer than somebody else.
Yeah,
absolutely. And Denise.
Well, I've been thinking. For me, gosh, you guys all have the good ones. Okay, I say that put yourself in your IP's shoes sometimes. I know that as surrogates, we don't understand where or what IPs have been through or are going through, because we ourselves have had our own children. So just keep in mind and be mindful of the other side of your match. Know that there are certain stressors that they are going through, or triggers that we don't understand. So you might have some type of reaction from your intended parent and you're just like, I don't understand. But try to just put yourself in their shoes. Like, this is their whole life. When they start and they sign up with us, this is all they think about. Getting their precious little baby. So I just say, let's try to, as surrogates, let's try to put ourselves in their shoes every now and again, because it may help the way you think about a certain situation. I think that's been helpful sometimes, because I know a lot of it, it's like, I feel this way, I feel this way, I feel this way. And we don't always put ourselves in somebody else's shoes. So when you do that, you kind of can see, or maybe sympathize or empathize with that other person and what they're feeling and why they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah, makes sense.
So that's my tip of the day.
I love that tip. That's a great one.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was some incredible information from our staff. Again, they've been through it. Our team at SAI has been through it as well, including we have intended parent with us, on our team as well. So we have all different sides: egg donors, surrogates, intended parents. So definitely ask the questions. Don't hold back. The staff is, ready and willing to answer anything that you have that you throw at them. So if they want to become a surrogate, Jennifer, how do they become a surrogate? Just by going online?
Yep, going online to surrogatealternatives.com, and you can do your application there or submit an inquiry, and then I'll get a hold of you.
There you go. It starts with you. It starts with Jennifer.
Yes. Starts with Jen.
Yes.
Yes.
And then it continues with us.
and it keeps going. Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
And once you're with SAI, you're always with SAI. I mean, we have surrogates from, when we started, popping in, saying hello. So it's really an awesome community to be a part of for as long as you would like to be. So yeah. I wanted to say thank you to our wonderful team at SAI. Thank you, ladies, for joining us today, taking the time out of your day to be with us and breaking down the pathway to surrogacy. Again, if you want to become a surrogate, feel free to go to surrogatealternatives.com, start your journey with us online, and Jennifer will reach out, and she's pretty quick, so be ready.
Yeah. Hope to hear from you soon.
I know.
Absolutely. All righty. Thank you, ladies. Kendra says real quick before we let go, Kendra says, you guys are awesome to work with, and I appreciate each of you. Thank you for sharing tips with us.
Oh, we love you, Kendra.
Thank you so much, Kendra. I appreciate it. And let us know how it was a PlayStation. Kendra.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that was so cool.
2 seconds.
Yeah. Yep. See, I'll never forget that one where she just
kind
of slid in last second.
Yeah. She's like, hi guys. It's like, oh gosh.
Yeah. So that was awesome. But again, thank you again, ladies, and look forward to seeing you all again tomorrow, next week. Hopefully we can all get together live and talk some surgery.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Kendra says love the PlayStation. All righty, guys. Take care. We'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.